March 3rd, 2005, Schertz, Texas. Officer Richard Coombs is on highway patrol when he pulls over a suspicious vehicle, not knowing that behind the wheel is a madman with a pistol and a loaded AK-47.
I remember sitting up on IH-35, saw the suspect's vehicle. He was definitely speeding, proceeded after him. Everything up to that point seemed like a normal kind of deal. Went up, tried to make contact with the driver. And he was making a movement that was typical for somebody reaching for a wallet in their back right pocket. As his arm is coming back out of the shadows when the gun appeared. I was able to get back to my vehicle. I was able to radio to my dispatch. I do then see the barrel of the rifle coming out. It felt like, I was in a war right there. First thing that kicked in was the training. You don't go back in your car. You go back in your car, you're dead. I move over onto the driver's side on the rear so I can try to see if I can get a look at him and find out where he's at. I knew that this car was really not a sufficient place to be, but I had no place else to go. If I go over to the other side of the highway, maybe to the rest area, well, there's pedestrians over there. He could be shooting and killing people over there. I could be run over by a car on the highway. The only option I have is to go back to the rear passenger side of that vehicle and try to take some sort of cover as he's firing that AK-47 at me. There was enough of a pause for me to actually return fire.
You can step it up, please. Got multiple shots.
After the firing ceased, I didn't know if I'd hit him. I don't know if he'd been able to crawl out of the vehicle. If he was still concealed down in the bottom of the vehicle, waiting for my approach or somebody else's approach. We waited until as many officers that were responding got there. Remember, Officer Hardcastle was SWAT trained, yelling at Mr. Kennedy to drop the weapon. So at that point, I realized that he was still alive and he still had a weapon in his hand. They were able to get him out and unarm him and take him into custody and take him to the hospital. He was struck 3 times. He also had fully loaded magazines for the AK-47, the 9mm handgun. He was definitely loaded to the hilt. I'm just glad that he's off the streets. He's not a threat to anybody else anymore.
The gunman, David Kennedy, was shot 3 times but survived. He fired more than 40 rounds and is serving 75 years for attempted capital murder. A search of his home turned up a military-style bunker filled with weapons and explosives.